Conscious we've been talking for a while, I think people would really be interested to hear about TEDx and how it works.
Sure. So TEDx is obviously there's TED, which is its own huge brand, and that's based in the US, in New York. But as part of TED, there's TEDx. So TEDx is independently organized TED events around the world. So this is run by volunteers, volunteer organizers. And I think a lot of people are surprised to find out that there's a lot of rules to do that. So you don't just go, I'm going to organize a TED event, TEDx event. You have to, first of all, apply for your license from TEDx, talk to them about the kinds of speakers you might like on your stage, the kind of theme you might do, and you really have to curate an experience that is worthy of the TED name and the TED brand. So it's a fabulous opportunity for anyone, but for me personally, it's something I'm really proud of. I really believe in it. I'm very passionate about it. And although I'm a student at the moment, an MBA student at Newcastle University, I also work there formally as a staff member. So I'm really passionate about when I finish and graduate, I will still be holding that license and working with students in the future.
Okay.
So I will be helping to coach students in a variety of different skills. So things like curation, so coaching speakers, helping them with their confidence and personal branding and all of that kind of thing, to art or creating stuff, creating the backdrops for the event, sponsorship, raising sponsorship, fundraising, training students and volunteers. So it's really quite a broad range of skills that you develop, but it also, as I said earlier, everything I do, although it's very broad and I have lots of interests, they all fuse together through kind of a common theme, and that theme is bringing people together from different backgrounds and in creative experiences. And that's very much what TED is for me.
Can I ask about how, because it's a question people are going to ask, is almost if like everyone wants to be famous and everyone has, I know some very senior business people, and almost the first, actually we've discussed this before, the first thing they have in their LinkedIn tagline is TEDx speaker, because it's a mark of kind of prestige. So how do people apply? How do people get selected to kind of do it?
Exactly. So I would say, depending where you live, look around at what's happening in your city. So if you are, say, living in San Francisco, look at what TED events and TEDx events are happening in San Francisco, or wherever you are. So to apply to be a TED speaker, that is a whole different kettle of fish. You've got to be already, on the speaker circuit, really powerful and engaging, and a very, I would say, very high level speaker. TEDx is different because it's a smaller event. It's led by volunteers. It is more accessible for many people to go and speak. However, that doesn't mean it's easy. So what you can do is look at what's happening in your city and maybe contact the organizers and see who they're looking for, what are their timescales, what's their application process. For us at Newcastle University, we use video applications because it's quick for us. We get about 120 people interested in an expression of interest to apply, and then we ask them to do a video application. And the reason we do that is because of time management. We need to sit and watch all of those videos. But
you can always get a
well,
good feel on people's personalities and what they look like and sound like and stuff in video. And it's it's a great communication tool, because so much of what you see is what they look like, what they sound like, their posture, their tone of voice. So I think it's 93% of kind of communication is visual related. And the tone of voice, that's 37%. But it's almost you get that with video, that if it was just a written application, the guy could be a nightmare, but so it makes kind of perfect sense.
Exactly. And we did have a lot of applicants that we loved the idea of their talk. And then when we saw the video, they hadn't put any effort into it, or in one instance, someone just read looking down at a piece of paper for 7 minutes. So if they can't grasp us via video, how can they grasp the attention of our audience? So yes, I would say the best thing to do is to see what's happening in your city or area. As well, you could travel. So if you, say, live in Manchester, you could see what's happening at TEDx Birmingham University. There are many TEDx events all over, and all of them are run very differently. I would say at TEDxNewcastleUniversity, we run things on a very tight ship because myself and my colleague Gabrielle, we are the license holders. And for us to get that license, we went to TED Women in California, and I personally paid a lot of money for us to have that license, because you have to go to a TED event if you want a license for 100 plus events, which we did. So in order to have that, we have to put on events that are worthy of the TED brand. So I will always say to people, I'm sorry, but you're not the right fit, or actually try again next time. Or
people pay to go, is that correct?
People do pay to attend. Some TEDx events are free,
okay.
But ours we have to charge because it's a student-led event. Everything is fundraised for. So what we can't do though, which a lot of people don't realize, you can't be paid as a TED speaker or a TEDx speaker. It's not allowed. So a lot of people think, oh, well, I want to be a speaker for you, and how much am I going to get paid? And it just doesn't work like that. And that's because it's such a big brand that when you get that video, your TEDx video on YouTube, and you're on the YouTube channel for TEDx, I mean, that is an incredible opportunity for visibility. And as you said before, to put those, words in your LinkedIn headline, TEDx speaker, that is like such a big deal for people. So, yeah, we're not allowed to sell anything from the stage, for example. You couldn't have a speaker who's also a sponsor, or, there's a lot of rules like this. And I guess that's why we're quite protective. But it's interesting how many emails and messages I personally get a day saying, I need to be on your TEDx stage. And, what people don't understand is, you come up with a theme, but then you work very hard to kind of curate that experience for the attendees.